Men ask me every single day, how can I be happy? One word, progress. When a person is progressing, when you're growing, you're going to be incredibly happy. When you're reading, when you're studying, when you're walking, when you're learning, when you're getting 0.001% better every day, when you're chipping away at improving yourself as a husband, as a father, as a grandfather, as an entrepreneur, as a community leader, when you're chipping away and working at becoming the best version of you, when you're running your own race, you're not concerned with what's to the left, you're not concerned with what's to the right, you're not concerned with what Elon Musk is doing, you're not concerned with what Donald Trump is doing, you're not concerned with what's happening in the White House, you're not comparing yourself to your brother, you're not comparing yourself to your sister, your neighbor, anybody else. You're running your own race. You're getting up every day and you're putting on your shoes, you're splashing some water in your face, brushing your teeth, you're getting in your road work, whether that's 10 minutes every morning, whether that's 20 minutes every morning, whether that's 30 minutes every morning, or whether that's 60 minutes every morning. You're running your own race and you're becoming the best version of yourself every single day. You're never, ever, ever worried or concerned about the noise. You're blocking out the technology. You're blocking out the anti-social media. You're becoming and working on the best version of yourself. Very, very, very important that happens. So the biggest thing here is progress equals happiness. Happiness equals progress. When you've got that mindset, what I call can I have it, good morning, I have it written on some of my shirts on the sleeves, C-A-N-I, can I, and the abbreviation means constant and never-ending improvement. I had those put on t-shirts for my hockey players. I've had those put on golf shirts for my insurance agent employees. I've had it written on walls, put on posters, put on my accountability mirror in my own bathroom. Can I? C-A-N-I, constant and never-ending improvement. You want a better marriage. You want to reconnect with your wife. You want a marriage that's on fire. Can I? Constant and never-ending improvement. Worry about yourself. Don't compare yourself to anybody else, and do the work every single day. You want to have a better connection with your children. You want to build that relationship. It's going to take time. You've neglected them. You've been disconnected for so long. It's going to take time, and it's going to take constant and never-ending improvement. Every day you work on becoming the best father that you can become. And how do we become good at something? We read books about it. We listen to podcasts. We become a serious student of that particular area. You want to get in better physical shape. You want to get in better mental shape. Once again, you just apply the principle of can I, constant and never-ending improvement. And like the great Matt Fury says, it doesn't take an hour. It doesn't have to be insanely difficult. You set one process goal and you make it happen. You know, you want to lose 70 pounds. You're in terrible shape. You need to lose weight. You got sore knees, you got sore hips because you've been heavy for so long. And it just seems impossible to get started. But that's the trap. Do you realize that it's the start that stops most? Do you realize it's the start that stops most? So here's the thing. I call it 1x failure. 1x failure means that it's not the challenge that defeats most people. It's not that they couldn't lose 70 pounds. It's not that they couldn't copyright every day. It's not that they couldn't 5x their business over the next decade. It's not that you can't do it. It's what I call 1x failure. And 1x failure to me is the ultimate loss. Good morning. It's the ultimate loss because you never get started. 99% of businessmen suffer 1x failure. You don't even try. You don't even get started. You dream and you do nothing. It's all just talk. It's all just, I want this, I want that, excuses, everything but doing. And it's called 1x failure because they don't even get started. And then the other part of that is, for the person, 99% of men, when they start something, they try it once, they walk once, they drink a gallon of water once, they work on their marketing for one day, they read the first chapter of a book, they go out on a date with their wife one time, they read for 20 minutes one time, and then they quit, And I can't help quitters. I can't help somebody who gives up on their dreams, their mission, and their goals. I can't help a quitter. So 1x failure, it's rampant in our world, where men don't even get started. And when they do get started, they choose not, they decide not to get to 2x. They can't walk a second time. They can't drink water a second time. They can't copyright a second time. They can't read a second time. It's just all bullshit. It's just life as a coward, life as a slave. You wonder why you don't have any freedom. You wonder why you don't have any control. You wonder why you don't have any independence. You have no autonomy. You have no personal sovereignty. You have no wealth. You have no power and influence. Well, it's very hard to claim those things if you only do it one time. So I believe, like Matt Fury, in tiny steps every day. Tiny steps every day. Like I tell men, if you're 70 pounds overweight and you got the bad knees and you got the bad ankles and you got the laundry list of excuses, well, you know what? Set one tiny goal. Set one tiny goal to walk 10 minutes. That's it. That's it. Not 11, not 15, not 20, 10 minutes. So you buy a pair of good shoes. That's the thing about power walking. That's the thing about road work. It's so simple and it's so inexpensive. You get yourself a good pair of walking shoes. You lay out your shorts the night before, your sweatshirt, your ball cap. You put that stuff on the chair right beside your bed. You put a big calendar up on the wall beside your bed. You go to Staples or Business Depot and you buy a year calendar. And then you buy a green or red Sharpie. A green or red Sharpie, and you put it right there in your nightstand. You're ready to claim your personal sovereignty. That's it. That's all. When you get up in the morning, whether you get up at 5, whether you get up at 6, whether you get up at 7, it does not matter. What matters is that you put on those shoes, you put on those shorts, you put on that sweatshirt, you put on your ball cap, and you head out and you walk 5 minutes out and you walk 5 minutes back. That's your 10 minutes. 5 out, 5. You can do that. And you can do that for one more day. I don't care if your knees are sore, if your hips are sore, but that's your one process goal, okay, for the next year. And you try to get from 1x, then you get to 2x, then you get to 3x, then you get to 7x, then you get to 21x, then you get to 30x. You got 30 days under your belt of work of walking 10 minutes. You can do 10 minutes a day. It's like walking. You walk 5 minutes from your house, you turn around and you walk 5 minutes back, and then you have the rest of your day. You tell me you can't walk 5 minutes out and 5 minutes back? Of course you can if you're serious about winning. That's the process goal. Forget about losing 50 pounds. Forget about losing 70 pounds. When you focus on outcomes, outcome goals are for chumps. Outcome goals are for chumps. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to win when I hear I want to win a Super Bowl, they'll never fucking win a Super Bowl. When I hear a coach or a player say, I want to win a Stanley Cup, they'll never, ever fucking win a Stanley Cup. When I hear somebody say, I want to make $1 million, I want to make $1 million a year, I want to be a multi-millionaire, they'll never, ever, ever, ever be a millionaire. Because that's chump language. Because the person who actually achieves those goals talks and focuses on their income, on the process, not on the outcome. Outcome is for the 99%. Well, I came to New England because I want to win a Super Bowl. It's not how Tom Brady thought. I want to play for the Lakers because, I have a chance to win an NBA title. It's not how Kobe thought. I want to invent the Model T Ford so that, I can make money. That's not how Henry Ford thought. He did that because he wanted to change the entire world. He wanted to have a life of significance. He wanted to be memorable. He wanted to be famous and infamous. So you got to focus on the daily process and forget the outcome. The outcome's always there. Every great athlete knows they want to win a Super Bowl. Every coach, I know I want to win a World Series if I'm playing baseball. But you keep that in the back of your mind as the target. But every damn day is the process goal. The process goal is putting on your running shoes and walking 5 minutes out and 5 minutes back. That's the process goal. And then you put a big red X up on the calendar every single morning when you do that. 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 5-0. Right now, as I shoot this video, I'm closing in on 70-0. The first 70 days since January 1st, I put that red calendar up there. Everything I do is a process. I don't care about, I'm not talking about making 7 figures or 8 figures or any of that stuff. I know my targets in my mind, but I focus on the process, the daily process. The process for me is putting on the shoes. The process for me is putting my fingers on the keyboard and writing. The process for me is cracking open the book. That's the process. And if I do those things for 7 days, 21 days, 30 days, 45 days, 100 days, 365, then those targets that I have, those big Super Bowls, those big college national title targets that I have, they'll happen automatically. Process, 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 process. And just like the great Tony Robbins always says, here's the secret. Here's what you get out of that. Happiness, elusive happiness. 99% of people are not happy. They're not happy with anything in their world. They're not happy with their relationships. They're not happy with their health, their fitness. They're not happy with their career. They're not happy. They're not happy where they live. They're not happy about anything in their life because there's no progress. There's no everyday 1x, 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x. You know why I feel incredibly happy this morning? Because I'm 70-0. I'm 70-0 of can I? Constant and never-ending improvement. My happiness, I didn't read a book on happiness. I didn't meditate about being happy. I didn't talk to myself these silly affirmations. Oh, you're a great person and you're a millionaire and all this other stuff. Not at all. I just got up and put my shoes on. I just put my hands on the keyboard and I just cracked that book every damn day. 7 days a week for the first 70 days of this brand new year. That's what I've done. There's nothing glorified about it. There's nobody out here cheering me on. Nobody's patting me on the back. I've got a calendar in my bedroom with 70 red X's on it. The Jerry Seinfeld 7, never break the red chain. That's my job. Never break the red chain. Never break the red chain. So far, God willing, in 2023, I've been able to go 70-0. And you know what? If you take a misstep, that's what the outcome process is all about, is if you make a misstep, and good morning, If there's a problem at all, then right away, you jump right back. So, if you make a mistake and you go 30-1, well, big deal. The next day you go 31-1, 32-1. That's the thing. It doesn't bleed into the next day. It's back to progress, progress, progress. And what does progress equal? It equals happiness in your life. Doesn't mean you're jumping for joy every day. Doesn't mean that, the world is always, gonna give you what you deserve. But it's very important that you understand that you can't be happy if you're not growing. You cannot be happy if you're not growing. Every one of my students, when I find them, they're struggling. Oh, Michael, I'm in a rut. I'm not enjoying my job. My marriage is stale. My relationship with my children is disconnected. I've stopped walking. I want to shoot videos. I want to work on the marketing. I want to give back to people in the community, but I haven't been able to do any of it. You're not progressing. You're not progressing. You're not happy because you're not progressing. You can't be happy if you're not growing. My dad is just here. My mom was just here. My dad's 89 years old. He's almost 90 years old. And he read 3 books when he was here in 8 days. I gave him 3 books. He read the Jimmy Johnson book. He read the Stephen A. Smith book. And he read one of my Kennedy books. He had his face buried in a book at age 89 here by the pool for 9 days. 8 days, 9 days. Progression. He doesn't know how to live without can I. He doesn't call it that. He's just constantly improving himself. He doesn't call it that. He doesn't know that. Just his 89, almost 90 years on this planet. Every single day he's reading. Every single day he's walking. Every single day he's thinking. Every single day he's improving himself. And what I love about my father is he doesn't compare himself to anybody else. He came from nothing. He came from nothing. He was abandoned as an infant at the hospital. Nobody wanted him. He was put into an adopted home with a family that, they didn't have any entrepreneurial, background. He was put, a roof was put over his head. He had to basically raise himself. He didn't have anybody that knew anything about marketing or business or any of that stuff. He quit school at age 14. Never looked back. 65 years as an entrepreneur. 65 years as an entrepreneur, and he never, ever, ever did I hear that man ever compare himself to somebody else. We had other insurance agents right down the street. He never talked about them. Unlike me, he didn't compare himself at all. He ran his own race. Every day in business, he ran his own race. He didn't worry about somebody else. He didn't compare himself to somebody that was further down the line. He didn't compare himself to, good morning. He didn't compare himself to somebody that had been working longer than him. He didn't do any of that stuff. He just every day became the best version of himself. Constant and never-ending improvement, progress. Here's the great thing about progress that I try to drive into the heads of my mastermind members. They don't see the disconnect. They don't see the disconnect. My best guys, my very, very best guys are the guys that get this, okay? I can use the example, a guy like Bill Gaw gets this. A guy like Billy Wagner gets this. A guy like Jeff Roy gets this. And it's when you progress, every day you get a little bit better. Every day you progress. All of a sudden, your life is incredibly happy, right? You feel great. You're getting better. Your marriage is improving. You're making more money. You're having fun reading. You enjoy your morning walks. Most days you're a happy man. You're growing. Here's the thing, and this is where legacy building and significant comes in. When you progress, you get better and you improve. All of a sudden you have more to give back. You're inspired to help other people. You're motivated to help other people. You know, when you're down and you're broke and things aren't working well and your marriage is in the toilet and your relationship with your children is poor and you're 45 pounds overweight and you're drinking too much and you're a cell phone junkie and you can't get out of your own way. Well, guess what? You don't feel like serving anybody. You don't feel like helping anybody. You don't feel like dedicating your life to serving other people. All you are is in normal survival mode. You're just trying and trying to survive. So, good morning. So, very important that you understand the connection between progress and contribution. And if you get those two things right, if you get daily progress, if you get progress right, constant and never-ending improvement, just little things, walk for 5 minutes, write for 5 minutes, read for 5 minutes, and then the next week do 10, walk for 10, write for 10, read for 10, whatever it is, pick one thing, just one thing and do it. You can do one thing. You can do one thing. You can walk for 10 minutes. You can read for 10 minutes. You can choose to write for 10 minutes. Oh, Michael, I'd love to focus on the marketing of my business. If you're not focusing on the marketing of your business, you're not in business. What the fuck are you talking about? Marketing is 70% of business. So when you say, I'd like to work on the marketing of my business, if you're not spending at least an hour to 2 hours, or like I do, 5 hours a day, all I do is marketing and promotion. I don't do anything else. I don't do the books, I don't do the accounting, I don't do the software, I don't do the technology, I don't do the errands, I don't do the taxes, I don't do anything but the marketing. That's always been the way it is. When I was in the insurance business, I wasn't the CEO, I wasn't the COO, I was the chief marketing officer. All I did was market, promote, and advertise my company. That's all I did. All I did was write newsletters. All I did was mail flyers. All I did was mail postcards. All I did was referral programs, send thank you cards. I spent 85% of my time as an insurance agent on the marketing of my business. That was the process goal, to spend 85% of my time on the marketing. And guess what the result was? I was the top agent in the country for 7 straight years, the top agent. When I got in the barbershop business, I didn't know anything about the barbershop business. I invented the thing out of vapor. I invented the thing out of thin air. I said, I want to have a barbershop. This is what I would want as a barbershop. We don't have a barbershop like this. I'm going to get a liquor license. I'm going to have a beer license. I'm going to have an old school shop. Well, 6 straight years that I owned the barbershop, father and sons, barbershop, #1 in the entire country. #1 voted by the association, the Barbers Association, as the top barbershop in the country. How is that possible? How is that possible when I've never cut hair? I don't know how to give a straight blade shave. I don't know anything about that. I spent 85% of my time marketing the barbershop. 85%. I didn't cut hair, I didn't do the books, I didn't do the taxes, I didn't do the software, I didn't do the technology, I never ever organized any of the schedule, and anything. All I did was the marketing. So that was the process. Michael, you market, you're the chief marketing officer. That's what I told myself. Michael, you're the chief marketing officer of the barbershop. Top in the country 6 consecutive years. All I do is marketing. Compare that to you. Well, I'd like to do a little bit of marketing. What are you? Are you running a fucking soup kitchen? Are you running a nonprofit that I'm not aware of? Are you running a halfway house with employees that are running the show and running rampant over you? Like, are you in business to make maximum profit, or are you just hanging out? Are you just a pretend business owner, spending your time on Facebook and all this other fake bullshit, all this hiding in Twitter and hiding online and ESPN and watching the news? I'm spending 85% of my time on marketing. I started this business with Marc Andre in March 2022, the Badass Movement. This movement that you're a part of, I started okay, at the start of the China virus, at the very start of the China virus. I said, okay, I'm done with hockey. They're going to shut down that for a while. I'm going to sell my team. I'm going to sell the barbershop, and I'm going to help elite men like you build their world. I'm a world building extremist. I'm a world building supremacist. That's what I do. I don't do anything but teach what I do. So I sit there and I'm like, okay, so what do? 85% of my time is spent writing newsletters, telegrams, shooting videos like this for you every damn day, okay, red X. I write an email every day. I send a telegram every week. I write a newsletter every month, and I facilitate, which means operate, 2 masterminds. And it's just the day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. It never changes. It never, ever changes. When my parents were here for 9 days, okay, I continued to write every day. I continued to read every day, and I continued to walk and shoot videos. Did you miss a video over the last 9 days? No, you didn't. Did I miss an email? No, I didn't. Did I not write? Did you get your telegrams? Of course you did. So I just continued to do those things in the first couple hours of the day. Constant and never-ending improvement. When you're progressing, you're happy. When you're progressing, you're happy. And when you're happy, you will serve other people. You will serve other people. It's impossible to serve other people when you're in survival mode, when you're worried about paying the bills, when you feel like shit because you're in terrible physical and mental shape, when you're addicted to your phone. It's impossible to serve other people. And that's what you see all around you. You see the most selfish, the most self-centered herd in history. The 99% buried in their phone, buried in their own toxic problems, buried in me, a person who's suffering from depression. What are they focused on? Woe is me. I wish I would have done things differently. I'm so down. I've got the blues. You got the down and you got the blues because you're self-centered. All you care about is yourself. You're serving nobody. You're not progressing. You're not reading. You're not writing. You're not walking. You're not drinking water. You're not doing a gratitude list. You're not praying. And you're focused on the past, right? Depression is when you focus on the past. Oh man, last year was a tough year. I wish I would have done things differently in high school, or I wish I would have studied something different, or I wish I would have married somebody different. I wish I would have been a better father. Manufactured mental illness. I'm depressed means I live in the fucking past. That's what depression means. Depression means your weak ass lives in the past. Who the fuck wants to listen to that shit except your other loser friends? Nobody. Nobody wants to be around anybody that talks like that. I'm so depressed. You do that to get some attention from your kid or from your wife or from your ex or from some therapist. But at the end of the day, it's fucking pity. It's pity. They're pitying you. They're looking down upon you because you're living in the past. Your ass is in the past. I'm so depressed. I got the blues in the winter. Who the fuck talks like that? Who talks like that? Life is a gift. If you got the blues in the winter and you're depressed or you're anxious because of the future, if you're suffering from anxiety, you're just as bad. Guess what? Your ass is in the future. You're like, oh, I'm anxious about what's coming up, the presentation. Oh, I'm anxious about this thing. I'm anxious about my mastermind. I'm anxious about the PowerPoint. I'm anxious about what's around the corner. No kidding, you're anxious. Anxiety means you're living in the future. Your feet aren't where your feet are supposed to be where you're at. So your feet are not where they're at. If you're depressed, they're way back in history. Oh, I wish I'd done things different. Or if you're suffering from anxiety, you're not progressing and you're not serving anybody. You're focusing on yourself. You can't be depressed unless you focus on yourself. You can't be anxious unless you focus on yourself. So if you're anxious, it's like you're anxious about the future because both your feet are in the future. You're worried about something that hasn't happened. You're worried about next Thursday. You're worried about a month from now. You're worried about a year from now. You're worried about making a payment. That's the opposite. That's the opposite of winning. That's the opposite of winning. So if you suffer from anxiety and depression in this great country, And with all the unlimited wealth and opportunity around you, shame on you, shame on you. If it's a medical issue, then get yourself some help with that. But for 95% of people, it's not. It's the fact that they're not progressing, they're not growing, they're not contributing, and all you're doing is focusing on yourself. Tony Robbins nailed this one perfect decades ago. To be depressed, to be anxious, to be stressed, to be worried, to be any of that stuff, you got to be focused on the man in the mirror. Woe is me, woe is me. And when you're progressing and focusing on other things like serving other people, when you progress, you're incredibly happy. When you're incredibly happy, boom, the light bulb goes off and you want to serve other people. The light bulb hasn't gone off for most of my mastermind members. I'll tell you that right now. They're worried about, oh my God, I got to get the company to 7 figures. I got to get the company to 8 figures. I got to retire in 7 years. I gotta. And never once in any of their language is there, who am I going to serve? Who will this business serve? What will I be remembered for? What will they say at my funeral? What will they write in my obituary? Will I be remembered at all, or will I be forgotten 5 days after my death? Will anybody even remember my life except for my children and my wife? Will my grandchildren remember me? Will my great-grandchildren even know who I was? Will they know my name? Will they know I was an entrepreneur? What about your great-grandkids 200 to 300 years? Will they search your name? Will they even know your name? Will they even know that you were a businessman? And when they search your name, what will they find? It'll be something other than Google. Google's on the way out. Artificial intelligence is going to put the boots to all those evil regimes. Google, Amazon, Apple, Facebook, all that stuff is going to be under attack in the next year to 5 years. All gone. So those tobacco barons are in for the fight of their life, and it couldn't happen to a finer bunch of villains. Absolute evil to the core regimes that are going, their day is coming. Their day is here, and their day is coming. AI is going to do what AI is going to do, and they are going to swift sword, and they are going to destroy. They are going to destroy those companies, mark my words. Search engine optimization, all that stuff. We won't need Google. Google, winning, just left town. Meta, winning, just left town. Amazon, winning, just left town. Apple, winning, just left the dinner table and left you with the check. So can't wait to watch that. So progress plus contribution equals significance. That's where you want to get to, not just success, but significance. A memorable life. My grandfather, you'll say, you want people to say, my grandfather impacted the lives of 1 million children. My great-grandfather was a community leader. He served others. He made an incredible difference for thousands and thousands of people. That's called legacy. That's called significance. Nobody's going to care what your house was like. Nobody's going to care how many cars you had. Nobody's going to care about even your business, the part of the business. They won't care about any of that, especially as time goes on after your death. The only possible thing you can be remembered for, the only possible legacy is your family and the people that you served. So you're actually building your legacy after 6 p.m. every night. You think you're building it when you get up and you're working on your business and you're selling and you're prospecting and you're doing your paperwork. Forgettable. It's all forgettable. It won't even be remembered. It won't be remembered. Your business will be sold when you're gone, and it'll be forgotten, and you'll be forgotten. The only chance you have to be remembered is what happens in your home after 6 p.m. every night. Are you at the dinner table? Are you connected? Are you with the evenings with your wife? Are you a good father? Are you a quality grandfather? Are you helping your children and grandchildren with what you're learning here? Do you share these videos? Do you share your newsletters? Do you share your telegrams? Do you inspire young people? Who are you mentoring? Who are you helping? Do you hold the door and smile for people? Do you help people when you're out and about in the community? Who are you serving? Who are you serving? And that, along with the type of family man, is your legacy. It's your significance. You'll either have a memorable life or you'll have a life that is forgettable. Nothing sadder than a forgettable life. Your legacy is your wife. Your legacy is your children. Your legacy is your grandchildren. And your legacy is the people that you served. So that's it. Progress equals happiness. Happiness equals contribution. You get those 4 things right. Happiness equals progress. Okay, progress and happiness equal contribution. You get that right, and you'll be an incredibly, incredibly happy man. That's it for today. If you want a copy of my new book, go to nobullbook.com. My book is called How to Not Get Your Ass Kicked in Business and in Life. It is not, I repeat, not every businessman's cup of whiskey. You can check it out at the link below, nobullbook.com. If you'd like to subscribe to my newsletter, there's still a few hours left. Go to badassletter.com. Badassletter.com. The link is below. That's my monthly Michael McLean world building newsletter. And I'll send you one of these free badass t-shirts that I walk with and work out with as free for subscribing at badassletter.com. That's it for today. I got to drive my daughter to her math tutor. Homeschooling is going incredibly well. The freedom and time that we've got now is just mind-boggling. Plus the progress that my daughter's making with 2-hour one-on-one math sessions with her new badass math teacher. Incredible what you can accomplish in 2 hours, 3 hours a day of homeschooling, which leaves us then with 23 hours, 22 hours, whatever it is, 21 hours to do what we want. So badass power move, saying goodbye to schooling, goodbye to private schools, public schools, Montessori, you name it, diverging and working on raising a young, hyper-accelerated entrepreneur. That's it. 2 words that changed my life, 2 words that can change your life. Run your own damn race. Be relentless.